Well, hello and welcome to the 189th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience. Hope you're having a good time. Where have y'all been? Yeah, I know, it's me. Anyway, there have been a couple of podcasts that have been put up that have been without me. Last night, episode 188 went up, and it is 40 minutes of the speeches from Burgers and Brews, the 5th annual Burgers and Brews. That's Speaker Sexton's event. Speaker of the Tennessee State House, Cameron Sexton, he's state legislator from Cumberland County, Crossville. And for the last 5 years, he has had a Burgers and Brews. When it started, there wasn't maybe 500 people. But the one last night on Saturday, August the 16th, had well over 2,000 people there. Anyway, it was a great event. A lot of folks were there. Unfortunately, there was also a competing event for Republicans, and that is the event in Sumner County. Their Republican dinner fundraiser for the Sumner County Republican Party was last night, and my understanding is they had somewhere close to 400 people there. So I know that based on the pictures, I know that Senator Hagerty and Senator Blackburn were there, and and that's where they were. And then of course at the in Cumberland County at Burgers and Brews, it was I'm actually looking here to see what I have done podcast wise. Yes, the last one was 188. It was put up last night, so this is 189, and I believe 187. Anyway, yeah, 187 was from and that was posted about 9 days ago. That was Knoxville County Commissioner Angela Russell. She was speaking at the Concord Farragut Republican Club. That's down here in deep west Knoxville County, Tennessee. If you're just scrolling across here because of YouTube, I very well could have put a couple of other things up as podcast episodes. I could have put up Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna out of Florida. She was here on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. So let's talk about what's happened here locally in the East Tennessee area in the last week. Last Saturday, which would have been September the 9th, Loudoun County had their Lincoln Day, Reagan Day dinner. It was barbecue. It was at Fort Loudon Middle School in downtown Loudoun, and that was the first event where Senator Blackburn and Congressman Rose both were there after Senator Blackburn had announced for governor. So to get y'all up to speed, Congressman John Rose from Middle Tennessee, 6th District of Tennessee, he had announced for governor back several months ago, right? 3 or 4 months ago. Senator Blackburn had at least indicated that she was planning to run for governor, but had not officially announced. But probably 4 days before the Loudoun County dinner, which would have put it somewhere around the 5th or 6th of August, she announced that indeed she was running for governor. So that put Blackburn and Rose. Blackburn was the keynote speaker, along with Tim Burchett, congressman from the Knoxville area, and Marsha Blackburn were the two keynote speakers. John Rose was given several minutes, and he got up and talked. All those are on the YouTube of the Mega Bullhorn of Truth, Brian Hornback YouTube page. You can watch John Rose's comments. You can watch Senator Blackburn's speech at Loudoun County on August the 9th. And then, so after the 9th, we got to the 14th. No, we got to the 14th, Thursday. And that's where Blount County had their Lincoln Day dinner. And they had a sellout crowd, more than 400 people at the Airport Hilton, right outside of Knoxville. And so everybody came, and Senator Burchett spoke there, along with Congresswoman Luna on the 14th. Locally in Knox County, Speaker Sexton had come in on the 14th to do an event for Knox County Commissioner, who's also running for mayor of Knox County. And so that happened at the same time as the Blount County dinner happened. And then fast forward to Saturday, you had you had Burgers and Brews, and you had the Sumner County dinner. So about 2,000 people were in Cumberland County, 400 at this dinner in Sumner. So Republicans are getting active. People are now realizing that, hey, May of 2025 is the local Republican primaries for local offices. In May of 2026 is the local elections for local offices, Republican Democrat primaries. And then August of 2026 will be the state primaries for Senator. Senator Hagerty's up for re-election, and also governor. And then, of course, Congress runs every 2 years. So John Rose has been in D.C. since 2018, representing the 6th Congressional District. And so he's running for governor, so he's not going to run for Congress again. So you have Van Hillary, former congressman from the 4th District, who's now in the 6th District. You know how all those congressional districts change about every 10 years after we have a census. So Van is now in the 6th, so he's now running. He's been the chief of staff for John Rose, but now he's running for that. But also you have the Republican leader of the state legislature, who's from Sumner County, Goodlettsville, Johnny Garrett. He too is running for Congress. So it's a domino effect of folks that are either coming back to Tennessee from having served in Congress to run for another position, to then allow those who are in lower positions to then run for Congress, right? So it'll be an interesting race. Van Hillary did speak last night at Burgers and Brews. Those videos are up. Got 2 different options on the blog post that went up on the megabullhornetruth.com, or you can still go there by going to brianhornback.com. brianhornback.com is going to redirect you to the megabullhornetruth.com. But when you go on there, you can, first of all, you can see Highway 96, which was the musical act, the musical group that entertained people while they fellowshipped, ate hamburgers, ate hot dogs last night at the Cumberland County event. And then, but you can also click on the podcast episode, and then that allows you to watch from beginning to end the entire 40 plus minutes. You had the speaker's daughter give the Pledge of Allegiance. You had Republican leader Ryan Williams to do the prayer. Then Cameron Sexton came out and spoke for a little bit. R.J. Crawford, immediate past chairman of the Cumberland County Republican Party, was kind of the one that kind of got things going. Cameron came out after the prayer and talked and introduced Lieutenant Governor McNally. Lieutenant Governor McNally spoke for a few minutes. And then the speaker then introduced Congressman John Rose, who represents the area. He spoke, and then Cameron, the speaker, introduced Van Hillary. He spoke, and then they introduced Bill Lee, who then spoke, and then conservative talk show host Clay Travis was kind of the big guy, right? So it was a good event. The entire speeches lasted about 40 minutes. It was scheduled for a 2-hour event, but I am told that people began arriving at 3:30 for an event that began at 6 Central Time. So it was supposed to be 6 to 8 Central Time, and so people began arriving at 3:30. I got there actually a little after 5, so I was about 45 minutes to an hour early. But I can tell you that they were already frying hamburgers. They were already cooking hot dogs. Food was already available. And so overall, it was a great grassroots political event. Kind of reminded me of some old-time barbecues and stuff that we used to do back in the past. But they had to change. It's always been the last 4 burgers and brews have been on the other side of the Oak Lawn Farms, which actually was kind of in the middle of the cornfield. But because of the number of people that had RSVP'd this year, it had to get moved to another side of the farm. And so I'll just put a plug. I have not met the owners of Oak Lawn Farms in Crossville, but look, if you're looking for a wedding or an event space somewhere in Tennessee, I would encourage you to go visit the folks at Oak Lawn Farms. Where Burgers and Brews had been before, there's a small church. There's a covered a big covered area, but the view of the plateau is phenomenal from the part that's what I say is in the middle of the cornfield. It's not really in the middle of the cornfield. You got to drive through the cornfield to get there, but an amazing view from on top of the plateau. But where the Burgers and Brews was last night is just as picturesque. There's more barns, there's more buildings, just a lot of just good old East Tennessee memorabilia that for those of us that have been here all of our lives or most all of our lives really does take you back to that era, right? So, all right, so we've kind of talked about what's been going on state. Let's talk about what's going on locally. For about the next 4 days, this is being recorded on August the 17th. So for the next 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those of you that live in the city of Knoxville can still vote early. Now, you can vote early in about 5 or 6 different early vote locations across the city. The City County Building is an option. Eternal Life Harvest Center over on MLK and what we call 5 Points is an option. The Expo Center out on Clinton Highway is an option. Meridian Baptist Church out in South Knoxville is an option. New Harvest Park out in Northeast Knoxville is an option, all right? So you got plenty of options to vote early. The benefit for voting early is that you don't have to go to your assigned polling location, your assigned precinct location. If after the 21st of August you still haven't got out and cast your early votes, then on Tuesday, August the 26th is your last day. It's your last 12 hours to cast a ballot, and that must be done at your polling location, at your assigned voting precinct. So that will be somewhere close to your home, right? So you need to know where that's at. If you if you don't have your voter card, if you don't have a current voter card to know where to go, then I guess you'll have to call the election commission to find out where your polling location is. There's 5 seats that are up this time. You can only vote for one person in your district. So if you're in the 1st district in South Knoxville, you can vote for one of 4. You got, let me see if I can go in alphabetical order. You have Karen Adams, you have Lindsay, I'm going to mess it up, Jermico, and sorry, Lindsay, I know your campaign is advertising on the Mega Bullhorn of Truth, I will get your last name. Becky Jones, and then Charles Van Morgan. Those are the folks in the 1st district. In the 2nd district, you can, and that's West Knoxville. First of all, South Knoxville, 1st district is South Knoxville and Fort Sanders. Then in West Knoxville, you have the choice of Nathan Honeycutt or Melody Watts. Here's the deal. No matter how you slice it or dice it, those two are going to advance to November, right? So I do encourage you to still vote. We still need you to vote. We still need a good number of people who are registered to vote. So I still encourage you to vote. Nathan Honeycutt and Melody Watts, those are your two choices in the 1st and in the 2nd. Then we have the 3rd district. That's kind of northwest Knoxville. You got 4 people in there. You got Nick Saparo, you have Ivan Harmon, you have Doug Lloyd, and you have Frank Ramey, okay? So those are your 4 choices. Go in and vote for one of those, all right? So that's the 3rd district. In the 4th district, it's kind of weird. There's 3 names on the ballot. There is Matthew D. Bartolaben. I'm actually getting that one about right now. Then there's a Jane George, and then there's Jeff Tallman. Really and truthfully, there's really only 2 people, because Jane George has suspended her campaign, said she's not going to run. However, she did that after she could have withdrawn her name from the ballot. So she's still on the ballot, but she's not campaigning. So vote for either Bartolaben or Jeff Tallman in the 4th. So ideally, those 2 should advance, okay, to the general. All right. So that's the 4th district. And then the last district. Now, first of all, let's go back for just a second to the 5th district. That's kind of out in North Knoxville, like Fountain City area. That was elected 2 years ago when the at-larges ran. Okay, so there's 3 at-larges in the 5th district. They ran 2 years ago. And so Charles Thomas was reelected, right, 2 years ago. So he's going to be up again in 2 years. But what's going to happen in 2 years when that position becomes available, Charles is going to be term limited. You're going to elect somebody for a 2-year term. Then that 5th district will then be in the cycle with the 1st and the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and the 6th. So then you'll vote for all the districts at the same time going forward in 2 more years, okay? Well, 4 more years. And then only the at-larges will be in the off years, right? So I know it's confusing, but that's the way it's going to be. 6th district, you got 5 candidates running, and it's East Knoxville, okay? So in that district, you have Charles Frazier, you have Denzel Grant, you have, I'm probably going to get this mixed up in alphabetical order, Stan Johnson, George Catdad Rodenbush, and Lawrence Williams. I think I got those all in alphabetical order. I'm not going by notes, so forgive me if I mess 1 or 2 up. Those are the 5 gentlemen who are running in the 6th district. So you go vote for one of those. The top 2 obviously will advance to November. Look, folks, there's a lot of talk right now about the city of Knoxville. They're going to be putting on a referendum about the sales tax, whether we should increase it a half cent, right, or a quarter cent. And that's going to happen in November. That's going to happen the first Tuesday of November of this year, 25. That's going to happen at the same time that this general election for city council happens. So, yes, find out all the information you can on it right now in the primary and this fall, but that's going to be on the ballot when you vote for one of the 2 from each one of these other districts. And guess what? Those of you in the 5th district that feel kind of left out right now, don't feel left out, because in November, you're going to get to vote on the sales tax issue, okay? So all that's to say, just trying to bring everybody up to speed on where we're at politically here in the city of Knoxville. They don't run their elections the same years that the county does. They run them in an off year. So that's what's going on right now, okay? So Not a lot of controversy yet in the city council races. I think everybody's just trying to kind of feel where they're at and move forward, right? But I'm sure it's going to heat up over the next week, and it's definitely going to heat up going into November for sure. So all that to say that really I just want to take this time to kind of bring you up to speed what's happening across the state with these campaigns starting up. 2 people running for governor, our Senator Bill Hagerty running for re-election. I'm sure we'll start. What's going to happen is you're going to start hearing about the locals, and then you'll hear about the state and local, because what happens after we get past this election in November, then you're going to start hearing about the local races that are going to happen in May of 26. And then from then, after those campaigns kind of start, then you'll start hearing about the state house, state senate, and then the governor and the U.S. Senate, right? So that's to kind of bring you up to speed on where we're at locally. Again, the website is the megabullhornofTruth.com. You can still find it by going to brianhornback.com. It's going to redirect you there. Send me, you can get on Facebook. I got a Facebook page for brianhornback.com. Send me a message. Tell me what you want to know about politically, what you want to know about within East Tennessee. I'll research it. I'll come on here and talk to you about it. I'm on most all social platforms. I'm on X, Megabullhorn865. I'm on Threads. I'm on True Social. I'm on TikTok. Obviously, I got my YouTube page. Getting ready to start posting stories as they publish on Reddit and Substack. So, trying to get the content that I create out to everybody that I can. So, again, appreciate everybody tuning in. The Brian Hornback Experience. This is episode 189. Hey, before you know it, we'll be at 190, and then we'll be at 200. And, so try to get back on here later this week with another one. Hopefully we'll get 190 into this week, and then we'll try to start popping them out about 2 every week, and try to keep you as informed as we can. Always going after the bias that exists in media, particularly in the Knoxville market, the Knoxville media market. The bias exists there with the local television stations, but not near as bad as what the daily newspapers bias is. So that'll be major topics going forward, and exposing the bias that exists, particularly with the daily paper. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back soon. Thank you all. Oh, thanks to the Old Forge Distillery, because this is the Old Forge Distillery podcast studio. I'm glad I got that in because I almost forgot it. I know you saw that, but the Brian Hornback Experience is thanks and in part to the Old Forge Distillery podcast studio. If you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. See y'all.